Hey guys, what's up? Today we're about to see the complete list of Sega Master System JRPGs, the ones that were released in the US. Right, let's begin! Alright, first on the list is Miracle Warriors Seal of the Dark Lord. Initially released for computer systems in 1986, this game received a bunch of ports until meeting the Master System in 1987. It was released in North America and Europe the next year, a few months later, making it the first RPG on the system to be released outside Japan. It was developed by Sega and a company called Kogaro Software Products, that back then focused a lot on computer strategy games. The artist of this title was Rieko Kodama, mainly known for the Phantasy Star series. This game is a very weird looking RPG, as you can see in the layout right here, and it doesn't add much to the genre, but it's interesting to see how this was among the many precursors of turn-based RPGs back in the 80s. Next is Phantasy Star. Phantasy Star, a big piece of video game history and one of the first Japanese role-playing games released in the West. It's a turn-based RPG with overworld exploration and dungeons in first person, and also among the first RPGs to feature a female protagonist. It was a commercial success, and it quickly spawned a whole series for the Sega Genesis back in the 90s. While the exact release date outside Japan is really hard to find, all that is known for sure is that it was in 1988, probably almost an entire year after its original release. To date, Phantasy Star is still one of the most historically important JRPGs and a cult classic to never forget. Next is Ys, The Vanished Omens. Here's yet another crucially important title on gaming history, one that was very overlooked back then and unfortunately still is. It's a precursor of action RPGs, originally released for computer systems, all supported and remade for many different consoles, including the Master System. The first Ys, developed by Nihon Falcom, is a top-down action RPG where you bump against your enemies with your sword instead of clicking one button to attack them. This feature eventually evolved into hack and slash on the PSP, where it met its commercial success. It was also the start of a series of games that are now quite iconic. Released in 1988 and localized to the West by the end of that very same year, Ys the Vanished Omens, or Ancient Ys Vanished, which is the original name, is yet another classic in JRPG lore, one that influenced many other action RPGs out there. Moving on to Spellcaster. This is yet another game by Sega where Rieko Kodama was involved, this time as one of the main designers. At first glance, it may not look like an RPG since it plays like a side-scrolling adventure game, but as you go on, you often get into a lot of scenes and places where you're able to interact with some options on the menu to find clues, which are a crucial part of the plot. These interactions contribute to its role-playing elements a lot, since you'll be doing this on a regulated basis. It is officially the last true RPG to be released outside Japan in 1989, among other types of games that have been confused as RPGs while being merely platformers or simple adventure games. Spellcaster might be an overlooked gem on the system, but not exactly worthy of being historically important in any way. First, there's Golvellius, Valley of Doom. Before Spellcaster, there was this curious and interesting game that had its own side-scrolling elements with some platforming including, but turning into a complete rip-off of The Legend of Zelda while in the overworld. It plays very much like it, revolving around a guy rescuing a girl. Sounds familiar? Yeah. Now, since I've never considered the original Legend of Zelda as a role-playing game, but rather as an action-adventure game, why would I consider this as such? Its RPG elements are kept to a minimum, and there's barely any interaction between the protagonist and the characters, as well as no original experience system. However, that doesn't make it a bad game at all. Enough to say it's a Zelda clone, but done right. And last but not least, Golden Axe Warrior. Yet another complete rip-off of Zelda, even more shamelessly than Gold Values. Since the Golden Axe series were pretty popular beat-em-ups back in the day, Sega decided to once again attempt to take advantage of the popularity of another video game. Not sure if they did it right, to be honest. I've never played this game before, but it does look like an exact copy of the original Legend of Zelda. Not an RPG in my opinion, but here you go anyway. One extra thing to say about this game is that it's extremely rare, therefore being extremely expensive, right about the $250 range for a complete in-box copy. Jesus! Yup. I'm not kidding. I'm sorry, but I don't consider the Wonder Boy series as RPGs. I mean, come on, those are platforming games. Nor do I consider this Lord of the Sword as an RPG, that's a side-scrolling game. Or what about Dragon Crystal? That's a roguelike game. It never came out in the US. That's right, it was released only in Japan and Europe. And what about Western RPGs on the Master System? That's Ultima 4, Quest of the Avatar, I believe that's the name. And there's also Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, Heroes of the Lands. But that's yet another game that was not released in North America, believe it or not. That's it for this video, my friends. This is the complete list of JRPGs, true JRPGs, for the Master System released in North America. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and share this video with your friends. See you next time!